have a 1750 battle report for you today. Eldar versus Space Marines. A super ultra elite Space Marine force is being taken on by a fully mechanized Eldar army. What do we got? 2 squads of Fire Dragons, 1 in a Wave Serpent here, Forge World style, 1 in that Falcon, 2 squads of Dire Avengers, Shuri version in those Wave Serpents, 2 Fire Prisms, 2 squads of 2 Vypers each with Shuriken cannons, and a small squad of Jetbikes with a Warlock and my Warlord Farseer. My Warlord trait is my whole army gets moved through cover. What was your Warlord trait again? Challenges. You get victory points for killing things in challenges. In this army, in Space Marines, we got some kind of scouts with a missile launcher on this objective. We got Honor Guard with a Librarian inside this awesome Land Raider. I think 2 squads of troops, right? Just regular. 1 Stern Guard, 1 regular squad. Dear God, there is a Flyer ready to come on the board turn 2, a Storm Talon. There's a Drop Pod coming down with a badass looking Dreadnought over there. Just nastiness everywhere. It's gonna be an awesome battle. We're playing the Scouring, so we have 6 objectives. This one's worth 2. That one's worth 3. This is worth 4. That one's worth 3, that one's worth 1, that one's worth 2. And just the luck of the draw. We put down the objectives, and then we roll to see which ones were worth how many points. So I've got a few more points on my side of the board. My opponent's going to have to roll up to take them. And we're going to see if my opponent can steal initiative. Oh, he steals initiative with a 6. Look at that cheatiness. Thank God I set up defensively. All right, awesome. Okay, so rounding up this stolen initiative by Space Marines. What happened? Drop Pod landed here perfectly on target. This guy came out, but decided he's not going to try to melt it because there's a energy shield here, or flame. He decided he's going to pop smoke to try to avoid getting shot by the fire dragons that are in here. Man, the store is loud. What else happened? Guns from these guys. Las cannons blast in here. Managed to penetrate, strip the hull point, and made it so that I'm stunned. Over here, orbital strike from this suicidal Pedro. Once per game. Perfect direct hit, hits both vehicles. Luckily did nothing to that one, but penetrated me here, but only rolled a 2, so it ended up being a 4 because it's AP1, so it stripped a weapon off me. It blew off my scatter laser randomly. And that was pretty much it for the Space Marines. Some snipers tried to, with a missile, tried to fire over here, but couldn't do anything to that Wave Serpent. So it's on to turn 1. We have to do some retribution, swift retribution against these Space Marines. On this interesting table that we're playing on, I don't know if you noticed, this is the only table that we could find because all the other ones are taken, so there's ice and crazy stuff everywhere. We're playing these as impassable terrain. Everything else is ruins. I don't like that. Like you'd expect. All right, back in a bit. Okay, rounding up top of turn 1 for, bottom of turn 1 for Eldar. What happened? Fortune on these guys, didn't do them anything. And then we set about wrecking the army here. We did whatever we could. We didn't do a heck of a lot, but we managed to combine beams. That guy fired, had an alleyway through which to fire at the this guy over here, the Land Raider. Combined beams with that guy. They combined their beams across the board there. And I managed to penetrate and immobilize the Land Raider. The giant shot from those guys, the small blast, hit this as well and actually blew away this guy's weapon on a penetration. Otherwise, I didn't get to do too much else. What happened here? We had to fire rear armor on this guy into the walker, spears from this guy into the walker, and finally the melt as we blew it up. The explosion wounded a bunch of guys here. They made all their saves. Wounded 1 bike over there. That was about it. Vipers went from here, moved and went flat out. Those Vipers moved out and went flat out over there as well. So I'm kind of encroaching on the sides of the board a little bit. And it is on to top of turn 2. Okay, rounding up top of turn 2 for Space Marines. Storm Talon shows up on the board, flies forward 36 inches like a maniac, gets a bunch of shooting into my Fire Prism, only gets 1 glance and 1 penetration. I fail both Jinx saves, and the penetration rolls a 6, the only way to explode me. Kills me instantly, what a fluky bastard, but so be it. These snipers over there tried to rend into those guys, but no luck. Over here, Stormbolter wiped out one of my Fire Dragons, so be it. And so that's it. So on to bottom of turn 2 for Eldar. Back in a bit. Oh, these guys moved out, sorry. They moved out and Pedro joined the unit, just so you know what's going on over there. Okay, rounding up bottom of turn 2 for Eldar. Fortune on these guys. I was still too far away to do them anything, unfortunately. I was a little bit too far away. But what did I do? We fired twin-link shots and regular cannon into this guy. No effect. Fired twin-link shots from this guy. 2 of his regular guns rolled 6s, and then the twin-link with the rerollable got 2 more 6s. And we managed to, I think we reduced it down to what, 1 hull points? Oh, no, down to 2 hull points, but we immobilized him. He tried to evade, but we got 1 penetration through, took away a hull point, immobilized him. So he went 36, so he's going 36 every turn now. So I just ignored him with my shooting at that point, just because I knew that he's going to overfly my army. Shooting from those guys into here, gunned down this whole unit except for 1 guy. He made his leadership. Shooting from this guy over here, blasted into the transport, got 2 glances in a pen, but he made cover saves on all of them from that rock that was in the way there. Over here, these guys charged in through spears, stripped 2 hull points, charged in, and wrecked it. So that's a wreck now. My shining spears, my spears on those guys over there worked. That's a unit of Jetbikes. Over here, this guy blasted strength 9 AP2 into that unit, killed 3 guys outright, including 1 insta-kill on a Terminator that had a 3+ shield. He took Lookout Sir, and he passed one, but failed the second one. These guys here helped to blast into that unit, but caused no wounds. Pretty much everything here is a 2+ armor save. Pretty crazy, so that was rough there. And he tried to help blasting this vehicle, one of these vehicles here, but to no luck. So that was it. So on to top of turn 3. Okay, top of turn 3 for Space Marines. This thing moved up and went flat out over here, getting really close to my lines. Moved up and went flat out over there, getting close to me there. So this thing split off fire, fired 1 las cannon to that guy, couldn't do anything, couldn't get through the energy shield, fired Melty and las cannon, just barely saw me over this. Look at that. I thought I was protected, but he could just barely see me above that thing. So, got 2 penetrations through, of course, and I failed both my 4+ cover saves. But luckily I'm down to 1 hull point. What happened is, unfortunately, he stunned me, so there's fire dragons inside, won't be doing anything, and he also blew away my lower gun, so that was painful. I'm down to 1 hull point over there. Otherwise, what else? I think that was it. Oh, the flyer. The flyer actually went like 35 inches or something, because he's just on the edge of the board actually. So unfortunately, he has to wait another turn to fly off. So we checked him out over there, but so be it. So he's still flying off and is on to bottom of turn 3. Okay, so let's try this again. Rounding up bottom of turn 3, we opened up a can of shooting on the army here. Fortuned these guys, doomed those guys. Unloaded Dire Avengers, Bladestormed into here after this vehicle flew in, didn't get immobilized, unloaded the Fire Dragons, they blasted that thing, exploded it, killed him down to 1 guy from the Bladestorm, those guys, shooting from these guys, shooting from that vehicle. Over there, unloaded those guys, vehicle flew away, busted open his vehicle with, just that vehicle was enough, stripped off his 2 hull points, wrecked him, Bladestorm into there, shooting with those guys, was able to kill some dudes, down to 3 dudes left. Over here we fired these guys, these Vypers, into this squad over here, gunned it down to just those 2 left, and Pedro has 2 of those left. Over here, Fire Prism blasted into that guy, connected, penetrated with a 6, but failed the cover save. He had 25% cover, so he got the 4+ cover save there, and that was pretty much it. I just forgot to do my move here, but maybe, I'll think about that in a second. Anyways, doesn't matter. So on to top of turn 4. Okay, rounding up top of turn 4, what happened? Some shooting over here. 2 las cannons went into my guy, got 2 penetration, failed both my jinx saves, and exploded me again, man. I just can't get any weapon destroy results on these guys, but he exploded. Explosion hit a bunch of guys, blew away 2 of my own guys. Pretty awesome. Didn't kill any of these guys, unfortunately. This guy moved up, shot, charged in. Now, technically speaking, Dire Avengers can overwatch after Bladestorming because Overwatch is not the shooting phase. Bladestorm says you can only not shoot in your next shooting phase, but I think it's cheesy. I'm not going to play that way because I'm sure they're going to FAQ it out. So I didn't Overwatch here, charged in. We had a gong show. No wounds caused by either side. How terrible is that for me, eh? But over here we made up for it. They charged in. Again, we chose not to Overwatch just because that would be cheesy. And we went first and we killed all 3 of them. We went our initiatives higher. We managed to kill every single guy before they went. We consolidated onto that objective over there. What else? I think that was it that really happened. This thing tried to fire multi-melt at my Fire Prism, but missed. So it's on to bottom of turn. We're going to roll for night fighting now. I'll tell you what's happening in a second, but night fighting? No, night fighting doesn't start. We didn't have night fighting at the start. This is turn 5 now. What happened at the bottom of turn 4? I just cleaned off these guys. 5 Meltas fired in there, wiped out Pedro and his buddy. Those guys just consolidated on the objective, but also hiding themselves, because I know there's a flyer coming on this turn, because the flyer had to go off the board last turn. Everything else just sort of hid itself. Those guys had nothing to shoot at, because I blew away this remaining guy with these guys, fired the Fire Prism into there, but actually scattered away from this guy. Tried to fire in, scatter in way over here. These guys flew up. Had nothing left to shoot at, so I just used their Jetbike move. They rolled 12, and they managed to go on this objective. So even if that combat went badly, which it did, they're on the objective. We actually lost combat here. We, again, couldn't cause any wounds that stuck. He managed to kill 1 guy, but we stuck it out in combat. And the flyer is coming on. There's just the flyer and the vehicle, this Land Raider left. That's it. So the game is coming to a close pretty soon. Top of turn 5. Okay, so we did the entirety of turn 5. We've called the game now. What happened? On his turn, the flyer came on, blasted in there. Of course, got 1 penetration through on my transport, blew it up. What else happened? Land Raider got 1 shot from a las cannon, penetrated me. I failed my 4+, and of course rolled a 5, whatever, blew me up. So 2 vehicles just exploded right away. Explosion didn't clip anybody though. My turn, however, so Gong Show comment there. My turn, however, finally successfully doomed. I forgot to mention last turn I took a wound because I rolled triple 6s, and I failed Ghost Helm. So not only did I fail the doom, but I also failed my Ghost Helm roll. My opponent on my turn though, I succeeded on it. Fortune, Doom, succeeded. These guys killed him in combat eventually with the Doom. Over here, my 5 Melta guys fired. 5 shots. 1 of them was a 6. My opponent elected not to evade anymore just because, you know, it's his last sort of gun on the board, really. So I managed to get 1 last hull point strip. He was already down to 1 hull point, so we took him down. Actually, no, the Meltas wasn't what did it, sorry. That took him down to 1 hull point. Those guys were what did it. Last shot from those guys managed to take out the Flyer. Flyer crashed backwards over here a little bit. We've just called the game there, but thanks for the game. Appreciate it. Eldar managed to do some shooting on the board and took it, but it was a good game.